I think is interesting is like history is a lot of things, right? It's Civil War reenactors, it's genealogy, it's popular history, and then it's academic history, it's museums, right?
Protest movement between 1966 and 1970 really changed the character of that institution, but it certainly changed the character of what was happening in those classrooms as well. That wasn't fully realized in 1970, maybe not even in 1998, but it was well on its way to really breaking the ice of that particular time.
So the canon of events that was taught was very restricted. So I'll be the sourpuss and say that I'm not sure that things have changed that dramatically.
Americans to better understand that Whig narrative I mentioned earlier, where it's just a march toward progress, is just a narrative. It's just something, a story we've told ourselves, and it's actually a lot messier, it's a lot more complicated. There are not clear heroes and villains, and to appreciate that generally. That's what I would say about American history, at least.
The way we look at the past and the way we read the past can change over time in good ways, frankly, which becomes more nuanced. And I don't know, I'm coming from Canada too, so from my outside perspective, Americans were not all that great, well-versed in their own history, which was kind of interesting.
Standards. Currently, I'm covering from, we're talking about absolutism, the Enlightenment, rolling into the different revolutions, and we have 5 weeks to cover this entire time frame. And yet we wonder why the students leave not really understanding or, you know, hanging on to that knowledge.
World history, I realized very quickly I cannot cover everything from 1500 to 2023 and don't even try. It just makes everybody miserable. So I started really focusing on themes and picking very specific things in a global context to give people maybe a microscopic view, but definitely a much more nuanced view and a more comprehensive view.
But in my experience, Americans, including the teachers who work with us at these institutes, they don't want to give up on the fact that Washington is like the be-all, end-all, best American ever. And so it's hard to grapple with that other part of his life. And you just have to give up the idea that we either treat him as the hero or we have to hate him. You have to be able to grapple with both simultaneously, to be honest.